The plaque read, quote, "A single draft note transmits trust afar. 10,000 taels of silver gather at once," end quote. Even by today's standards, 10,000 taels would weigh nearly a ton. Using drafts instead of physical silver was far more convenient and secure, greatly facilitating commerce. Economist Ma Yingchu remarked, quote, "Thus the hassle of long-distance silver transports and the risks of theft or disaster were eliminated, while settlements became balanced. Commerce flourished, national wealth grew. The historical contribution of draft banks cannot be overstated," end quote. A key reason for Shanxi Piaohao's resilience was their unwavering integrity. Rishenchang, for instance, never experienced a single case of wrongful or fraudulent withdrawal, let alone embezzlement. Shanxi Piaohao emerged during the turbulent late Qing dynasty. In some ways, the era's internal strife and external threats both harmed and created opportunities for Shanxi merchants. When the Taiping Rebellion erupted, southern China descended into war, destroying many southern draft banks and forcing closures amid heavy donation demands. The Ming and Qing dynasties, ruling the south from the north, heavily relied on southern economic supply, with the Grand Canal serving as the empire's lifeline. When the Qing government official silver transport routes were severed by war, many officials in Beijing could not receive their salaries. As a last resort, the Qing government turned to draft banks for remitting official funds. Thus, draft bankers transitioned from private merchant guilds to government-affiliated enterprises. These bankers became the state's primary financial partners, while officials, fearing instability, deposited their wealth in draft banks, fueling rapid expansion. After handling official salary remittances, draft banks also took over interprovincial assistance funds. Starting in 1863, amid the self-strengthening movement, Shanxi Piaohao entered a period of rapid growth. When Zuo Zongtang suppressed rebellions in the northwest, his military expenses were entirely remitted through draft banks. From 1865 to 1893, Pingyao draft banks remitted over 11.54 million taels of Shanxi's allocated funds to itself, Gansu, and Xinjiang, averaging nearly 400,000 taels annually. During the Tongzhi and Guangxu eras, the number of draft banks surged, and their business shifted from private remittances to handling large-scale government transactions. The Qing government entrusted tax revenues and other funds to draft banks for remittance and storage. With lax financial oversight, public funds, unlike private deposits, typically earned no interest, allowing Shanxi draft bankers to reap substantial profits. In 1900, during the Boxer Rebellion, the Eight-Nation Alliance captured Beijing, forcing Empress Dowager Cixi and Emperor Guangxu to flee in haste to Shanxi. Local Shanxi merchants went to great lengths to ingratiate themselves with the imperial court. Not only did Cixi entrust all provincial funds remitted to the central government to the Dadetong firm for management, but she also handed over the entire Boxer indemnity, totaling approximately 1 billion taels of silver, including principal and interest, to the same firm. Shanxi's draft banks effectively became the Qing dynasty's temporary national treasury, catapulting them into the pinnacle of wealth. The Dadetong Draft Bank paid out dividends of 850 taels per share in the 14th year of Guangxu's reign, which is 1888, which soared to 17,000 taels per share by the 34th year of Guangxu, which is 1908. By the 32nd year of Guangxu, which is 1906, Shanxi draft banks controlled 1/3 of the silver resources in the Qing Ministry of Revenue. Historian Ren Yuhuang noted, quote, Shanxi's money houses were essentially draft banks, focusing on traditional Chinese remittance services rather than evolving into modern banks. Within this backward commercial framework, powerful merchants leveraged political privileges to amass enormous profits in short periods. End quote. During the Xianfeng era, the Sun family of Taigu possessed over 20 million taels of silver, while the Cao and Jia families held 4 to 5 million taels each. The Hou family of Pingyao and the Zhang family of Jiexiu each had 3 to 4 million taels, and dozens of families in the Jiexiu and Qixian counties held assets exceeding 1 million taels. The combined wealth of these few Shanxi counties surpassed 100 million taels, more than the Qing National Treasury's reserves at the time. Shanxi draft banks were not able to thrive forever. Tune in next episode to learn about the economic crises and political turmoil that Shanxi draft banks faced in their later years. Finally, don't forget to like and subscribe.